Wow, happy Monday. Hopefully everyone's having a glorious Monday. It is a very, very cold Monday. Here in Austin, Texas, I think it's around, let's say, 40 something, maybe 50. I don't know, there's a quite a chill. And someone's either flying a drone or cutting something at 54 degrees here in Austin, Texas. And we're going to talk about Trump getting arrested over the weekend. He says he's going to be arrested Tuesday in New York. And I've read parts of it and I don't know exactly what to make of it. Everything I've been reading really doesn't really say anything to why he's being arrested, like what law did he break? Because I'm very interested in that. I also want to know if this is going to be the new normal going forward. I want to know if not Trump himself, I wonder if other people are going to be indicted in the same way. Because it seems like what he did was similar to something else. But of course, the New York Police Department mobilized 700 riot cops, puts up steel barricades ahead of potential Trump arrests. The New York Department is preparing for civil disorder. Should Manhattan District Attorney Office order the arrest of the former President Donald Trump? The New York Police Department has ordered the mobilization of 700 riot police and has erected steel barricades around Manhattan Criminal Court in preparation for a potential grand jury indictment. Let's see here. According to the New York Times, fantasized about the likely indictment, unprecedented arrest of Donald Trump. The walls are closing in. He would be fingerprinted, he would be photographed, and he could even be handcuffed. And if Donald J. Trump was indicated by Manhattan grand jury in the days ahead of his role of the hush money payment to porn star and former president of the United States of America, will be read the standard Miranda warning. He'd be told that he has the right to remain silent and the right to attorney. These are among the routine steps for a felon arrest in New York, but the unprecedented arrest of the former commander-in-chief, whose devoted supporters once staged the great violent attack on January 6th. I mean, I don't know if it was violent-ish. I mean, it was rather tame compared to the BLM protests, the Summer of Love. Let's see here. One stage, the violent attack on the Capitol will be anything but routine, the story added. The Times also reported more than a dozen senior police department officials and two of the mayor's top public safety aides held a virtual meeting to discuss security and staffing and contingency plans on the event of any protests. One person with the knowledge of the meeting said the Times drew parallels between New York security preparations and the potential Trump indictment this week at the Capitol riots. It was more of a protest. Did get a little squirry there. A cop did fire his gun on an unarmed protester. Capitol riots on January 6, 2021. That meeting followed a call from Mr. Trump himself in a post in his Truth Social on Sunday morning. Protests exhorted to his supporters, take our nations back, said peacefully protest, if I'm not mistaken. The former president rally cry with the indictment looming conjured up memories on January 6, 2020. Assault on the Capitol, Times added. There was no... I guess you could say it was assaulted. But there's no more assault than what Nancy Pelosi did or Chuck Schumer or Paul Ryan selling us out to the lowest bidder overseas. It's more the assault of our establishment or assault of our country. Republicans plan to use their new investigation power to horse blah, 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 blah. Yeah, going into Biden's family. Let's see here. No, I guess That's pretty much all it is for this one, because I do have this other story from Yahoo News. Orlando, Florida, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy urged calm Sunday as he said Americans should not protest if former President Trump is indicted, arrested on hush money investigation in New York, contradicting Trump, who called for his supporters on Saturday to protest and take our nations back. I don't think the people should protest this. No, I think President Trump, if you talk to him, doesn't believe that either. I mean, he kind of said it. In response to a question by Embassy during a House Republican retreat in Orlando, he said later, nobody should harm one another. We want calmness out there. But during the same news conference, McCarthy gave a full-throated defense of Trump's dismissing of New York County District Attorney Alvin Bragg's investigation as politically motivated and saying he's uninterested in cracking down on rising crime in New York. Lawyer after lawyer will tell you this, that this is the weakest case out there, trying to make a misdemeanor into a felony, said McCarthy, flanked by members of his leadership team in an outdoor courthouse, the JW Marriott Orlando Grand Lakes. Last thing we want is somebody putting their thumbs on the scales of justice simply because they don't agree with somebody else's political view, McCarthy added. That is what's wrong and what infuriates people, and this will not hold up in court, and if this is what he wants to do. Trump said Saturday on the social media that illegal leaks from Bragg to the media suggests that he, the far and away leading candidate for the president, will be arrested Tuesday, and he called for his support to protests. Bragg has been investigating allegations that Trump made hush money payments to the adult film star Stormy Daniels during his vicious 2016 presidential campaign. Multiple sources said last week that law enforcement agencies in New York were preparing a possible Trump indictment as soon as this week. On Saturday, McCarthy took to Twitter to announce that he was directing the GOP-led House committee to launch investigations to whether or not any federal funding was being used to support Bragg's probe to subvert our democracy by interfering with elections with politically motivated prosecutions. A day later in Orlando, McCarthy reiterated his pledge to investigate, saying that he had already spoken to the Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, Republican Ohio, who also leads the Select Committee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government. It applies to that directly. McCarthy told reporters, I think you'll see actions from him. Asked if Trump should still run for president if he's ultimately convicted, McCarthy punted to the nation's founder. The Constitution allows him to. He said he is constitutionally right to run. After McCarthy news conference, Rep. Major Taylor Greene, a top Trump ally, said that people have the constitutional right to peacefully protest, but joined McCarthy in urging Trump supporters not to protest an indictment, saying that they should instead jump onto Trump at a March 25th rally in Waco, Texas. So I heard rumblings about this. This actually makes a lot more sense from MTG. They don't waste your money going to New York. Come to Waco where you're going to be welcome. You're going to be welcome with open hands. You're going to greet each other in a positive manner. We're going to kick this off peacefully. You can show your support there, opposed to going to New York where you probably be looked upon hostility, and possibly there could be some agents, who knows, maybe FBI agents, starting some crap, and we have a January 6th all over again. I mean, so if she's coming from that angle, she's not wrong saying what she said, but she definitely says you have a constitutional right to peacefully protest. I'm planning to go. I can't wait to go down there. I'm not going to New York. I'm going to Waco, Texas, and I'm going to join up with a bunch of people that support the president, Trump, Greene told reporters, because Save America rallies are like a great big love fest where we're just saying how much we love America and President Trump. We don't need to protest. I mean, she does have a point. I'm not going to dismiss that. She says you can protest, but if you want to protest, go to a rally and show your support there. Don't let New York DA and prosecutors determine the narrative if you go to protest in New York, because they probably will. I mean, there's going to be narratives spinning either way. I mean, someone posted this. I think I have it up here in my server, which you could join. Let's see here, blah, 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 blah. So pretty much this one right here. I should have had this up. American has stood silent and watched these petty tyrants wreck the institution and go away. Institution after institution, U.S. government has violated our rights of unity. Now they want us to oppose any protests about political motivation. Arrest a former president, the same moral degenerates who lectured us about expecting protests, cheered as BLM Antifa burned down black neighborhoods years ago. There was not a peep of complaint from them at any time. January 6th could be stopped with more security. Capitol Police largely watched it happen. The FBI was embedded in extremist groups, but failed to stop it. The only person killed that day was a Trump supporter. It's an insurrection narrative in search of hard facts. This has been in the works for a very long time. Prepare for the final act of the Streetish playbook. This year, in case it's not already clear, the deep state Democrat political elites, media are trying to make any and all form of protests by Republicans, conservatives, or populists illegal. If you don't understand this, this is because you don't want to understand this or because you want it. So let's say there's a peaceful protest in New York and the FBI agents cause a ruckus and cause a riot. Then they could turn this against Trump, saying, look, he orchestrated another insurrection, another riot. This is his second riot. He cannot be president, can no longer be commander-in-chief because he has committed a RICO offense or whatever you want to call it. Now, on the other token, the fact if nobody shows up, they could use this against him and saying, look, nobody shows up. There's no support for Donald Trump. But let's get back to what this says. Over hush money paid, I guess the claim is he used campaign funds to pay her off, and that goes against election fraud or election interference or whatever you want to call it. But Clinton, so the Hillary Clinton campaign is not contesting it. They're paying the fine. It's basically meaning that they did this and they're out. We don't want to protract a legal deal. So as the Hillary Clinton campaign or the DNC ever shield away from taking something or someone to court, well, pretty much pays a fine over the Steele dossier. I mean, if this is the same thing that Hillary Clinton did to pay for something that plagued our country to this day, why is she not being indicted on the same charge as Mr. President Donald Trump? I just want an equal application of the law. That's all I'm asking. I'm not defending Trump. I'm not trying to bash Hillary Clinton. But it appears to me from everything I could research, it's the same crime. Same laws were broken. One's a misdemeanor, but because Trump does it, it's now being deemed a felony because they're trying to say that it was hiding another crime, which is a federal offense, while this one orchestrated a false narrative that Trump was a Russian asset, which was part of a campaign to character assassination of Trump at the time. I just want equal application of the law. That's all I want. And I'm not seeing that Why does she get a slap on the wrist, whereas Trump gets arrested? That's all I'm asking. It's all I'm asking. And with that being said, that is my video for today. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.